Two guys in their early 50s with one dream: to achieve middle-aged sporting glory. This is the Missing Links Golf Show. Andy Walker, welcome back. Here we are again at the Missing Links Golf Show. Bit of an exciting one today. It's all about me. We've heard enough about you. So let's talk about some actual golf.
I actually thought when you first started that you were going to do the Bill Laurie welcome back
Yes,
to the
welcome back.
MCG.
Good one.
I sort of was expecting it way through, and like you didn't go through with it, so I was a bit disappointing.
Sorry about that. We'll work on that for next time.
Yeah.
For those of you in the US of A, that will mean absolutely nothing. But he was a fantastic, legendary cricket commentator who always enjoyed coming back from the ad break with a bit of yes, welcome back to the MCG. As in the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
It was he is a proud Victorian, very, very proud Victorian. Which, you know, we don't hold that against him. I mean, you know, he did play for Australia, so we were cheering for him well, I don't remember cheering for him because I was probably a bit young, but you know, I'm sure those at the time were cheering for him.
No doubt. Victorian first, Australian second, I think it was a fair description.
Exactly.
That's fine. Talking about random facts about famous sports people, Andy Walker, given it is a sporting show, when I was watching the Open Championship that we talked about an episode or two ago.
Yep.
And my lovely wife was watching and saw the name JJ Spawn come up on the screen.
JJ.
Obviously winner of the US Open. And she asked the question, which I thought was quite an insightful question. What does JJ stand for?
It's a very good question. I don't know.
So I checked it out. And you might be interested to know that JJ stands for John Michael Spawn.
Okay, that makes sense. Not?
Yeah, which I thought was a bit unusual. Perhaps it's John Jr. I don't know.
Maybe. Did you check that out?
No, I didn't check that out. I was pretty happy with John Michael going. That'll do me. I'll stop my internet research out there.
Excellent. Due diligence at the superficial level. I love it.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research, but I thought that was interesting. So anyway, John Michael, JJ, nice work. US Open champ.
Excellent.
2025. Let's talk about golf, since we're on a golf show.
Yeah, we are.
I did play a little bit of golf recently, and I thought it was an interesting, intriguing afternoon, I've got to say.
Thought-provoking? Captivating?
Yeah, there's some thoughts to provoke. So I thought before we get into the round, perhaps I'll just set the scene as I briefly did at the tail end of the last episode, because this was an interesting round, as the Pilgrims would know, and as has been well documented over recent episodes. I feel as though my game has definitely been trending in the right direction. The velocity has been strong. However, the results haven't really supported that sort of a statement. But what is interesting is that I haven't had many bad rounds. I just haven't had many really good rounds and haven't gone as low as I would have wanted to. So I offer that as background. Now for this particular round, so this was now as we record, it was on last weekend, so sort of 6 days ago. It was an interesting one because, as you might recall at the beginning of this podcast, I was sitting at around about 10 as a handicap. Had managed to sneak down as low as 8.0 during the course of the show, and had a number of low flag rounds drop out in recent times. Which had seen things bounce up to 9.5. Now, what this round was faced with was one of my lower rounds was dropping out the bottom end of my last 20, and that was 7.3.
Yeah,
and
that's
if
pressure.
if I didn't do better than an 11.8, which was my next lowest non-flag round that would place it, with the amount of distance between those two rounds, that would see me blow out back to a 10.
Did you consider what you needed? Was it 11.7 that you needed to prevent going to 10, or what?
I didn't do it exactly that
So you
scientifically, but
didn't
I
have a
knew that
score in your mind?
no, because we'll get to particularly that point in just a moment.
Right.
The
Getting
reality
ahead
of
of
it
myself.
was,
Sorry.
yes, the reality of it was that I was sitting there going, oh, if I don't post a decent number, then I'm going to be at a 10 and I'm going to have to come on the show and I'm going to have to explain that I'm no longer in single digits and it's all
Mm.
going the wrong way and that's all quite
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah, you don't want that. I
And
mean,
so
you'd rather just not play golf, get injured than do that.
it's an option. Um, so there was a bit of a mental spiral that
Mm.
started to go on,
Yep.
which is easy to do. And the trouble with that is that the temptation is to calculate this is the number I need to shoot
Yeah.
and to fixate on that. And I nearly did that, but I stopped myself because I went, hang on a minute, what's the big deal? You know,
Mm.
it is a possible outcome if I go and
Yep.
play another game of golf in my life. It is a
Mm.
possible outcome that the handicap will blow out back into double digits. Can I live with that? And what would happen if that happened? And so I played out that scenario and I went, well, if that did happen, you know what I would do? I would just go and play another game of golf in the next
Yep.
couple of weeks and I'd forget about it and move on with my life. So it actually
Yep.
really isn't a big deal at all and it's nothing to
Well,
worry about.
you'd have to face up to the Pilgrims though. That's the big sort of question mark, I guess, in the whole process is yeah, you just go out and play another round of golf, but the fact that we're engaging in this pilgrimage in a public arena with the pilgrims watching on, it's sort of not as easy as that. Even though you
I,
can
and
have
and
that
I
mindset.
and I accepted that and I went, so the worst case scenario is that I get on the show today and we record and I say I've blown out to a 10
Mm.
handicap
Yep.
and that's it. Like
Yeah.
that's not that big a deal.
Yep.
Now
Yeah, I agree. Agree.
I'm not going to tell you whether or not that happened until the end of the story.
Okay. Okay.
So
Keep us in suspense.
yeah, but that was the backdrop. But the important thing, right, is that I kind of, rather than just going, oh no, I need to post a number, I actually went through the process and went, well, you know what? Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good. That is what I want to do. Absolutely. I'm not going to pretend that I don't want to do that. I absolutely want to do that. But if I don't do that, everything will still be okay.
Yep.
And that released the pressure valve quite significantly when stepping up onto the first tee. So anyway,
Mm.
I share that because I do think that that's an important lesson that came out of the day. So, do you want to know what happened, Andy Walker?
Yeah, let's get on with it.
Let's step onto the first tee.
Mm. Did
So
you have the crowd again like the you had a couple of
there
weeks
was
back when you
there was quite a lot of
obviously
people.
achieved celebrity status now at your
Yeah,
home club? So I'm expecting every round that you step on the tee,
in
you're
fact
going to have the gallery.
the crowds are growing.
Are they?
It's
Excellent.
quite something.
I
Yeah,
love it. Love it.
there's parents taking the kids down to the course on a Saturday afternoon to watch me tee off. It's quite something. I feel like they're going to need to start selling tickets at some point. But no, so we stood up. It was a Stableford event. So just regular weekly competition, Stableford event. I was playing off 9 for the day. So what did I get? 4 shots on the front, 5 shots on the back.
Yep.
Is generally how it works. So anyhow, I stepped up onto the first and hit a good drive, slightly up the left-hand side of the fairway though. And as you know, everything sort of slopes a little bit to the left anyway. It seemed that it may have caught a branch of a tree on the left side of the fairway, sort of came down just off the fairway in the rough. It was still a decent drive, but I was back because it's par 5, the first hole. So because of that, I was back, probably cost me about 20 to 30 meters. So I wasn't
Mm.
going to get to the green in 2, which to be honest, doesn't happen all that often anyway.
Yep.
But that was okay. That was a reasonable start. Good contact. So I pulled out the 5 wood Now, as you know, there's OB all the way up the right. There's water on the left,
Yep.
kind of out of play, but a bad
Mm.
shot will find it.
I, I actually didn't realize there was water there until not that long ago when I was sort of
Yeah,
looking at sort of an aerial view
yeah,
of the course, and I just went, "Oh, there's actually water
yeah.
there."
I
It's
have
not
seen people
obvious.
go in it. I have seen
Mm,
people go in it. You can't, but there's trees in front of it, so you're
mm,
unlikely. Anyway,
yeah.
doesn't matter. I didn't go in it. I hit a good 5 wood up the middle of the fairway, which left me with about sort of 50 meters to the center of the green, center pin. So I pulled out my 56 just to, it was a pretty good number for a sandwich actually. So I felt pretty confident standing center fairway and knifed it, Andy Walker.
Ooh, that's not
Really
good.
nicely, caught it about halfway up, gave it a nice smile,
Yep.
straight through the green, and there's nothing good long on the
No,
one.
no, it's tough from especially was the pin up the back or was it more towards
It
the
was
front?
pretty much a center pin.
Oh, center pin. You did say that, yeah.
Yeah, but knifed it straight through, went through the green, across the cart path. There's
Oh,
some really deep rough and a nice
yeah.
big tree, and it kind of nestled up just next to the trunk of that tree,
Wow.
well, overhanging branches and everything. So I couldn't pitch
Mm,
it back onto the green. So I did a 7 iron, just punch a 7 iron through. And look, the thing is, what I didn't want to do, Andy Walker, was leave it short in that rubbish because the green then runs back to front, so all
yep.
the way back to the fairway. So
Mm,
anyhow, I punched a 7 iron through the green back to the front edge.
yep. It's not a
Um,
bad result.
it was okay, but you kind of in the situation where the mind starts racing a little bit because I'm now there for 4,
Yeah. Yep.
and nobody wants to double the first.
Mm.
So when I was at the front edge, and
See,
unfortunately,
I would have thought that you would have been standing over that putt going, well, it's a par putt.
I decided to think that way.
Mm.
But at the same time, I mean, like they're the feelings that just creep in. It's
Yeah.
not golf is not a logical game, and the brain is not a logical organ. So
Mm. Mm.
you've got to deal with those things. So walk through, had a good look at it. Actually hit a really good putt. It just missed the right edge, but it was a tap in bogey, so
Nice.
that was
It's not a bad
okay.
start. I
Wasn't a
mean,
terrible start.
yeah.
So yeah, it definitely it could have been a lot worse. It could have got away, but the knifing of the wedge on the way in, that wasn't ideal. Doesn't fill you with
So what
confidence at
was
that
that
point.
then? Was that were you a little bit nervous or were you just like a bit careless
I,
or just a
I,
poor swing or what
I
was it?
just think it was. I just think it was a bad first hole swing.
Mm.
In honesty, at that point. So what I was thinking about it later because, as you know, I have been kind of working on getting the weight a little bit forward with irons
Mm.
and in particular wedges.
Yep.
And I wonder a little bit if that's pushed the low point forward a touch, which has caught the ball on the way down,
Yep.
possibly.
Or you usually a knife is the opposite though. Is when the you don't transition your weight forward and you're either decel or have your weight sort of still hanging back and you don't actually take a divot and you
It was neither of those.
yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah, it was neither of those. So anyhow, we shake it off, make a bogey on the first. It's all right. We'll move on to the second. So the second is, par 4, slight dogleg to the right. You need to hit a good drive to the corner. And I did hit a good drive, hit an excellent drive, got it out there 260 meters according to
Ooh,
ShotScope
nice,
anymore, because
nice.
that on the inside there of the corner, you
Mm,
get that bit of that hard pan and
yep.
a nice hard bounce. So what's that? 260, it's about what, 285 or so
Yeah, somewhere around that.
yards,
Yeah.
like that. So I was pretty happy with that. That's kind of out at my limit. Um, hit a decent wedge, but just pushed it to the left of the green, which was disappointing. So a little bit of the left issue that had showed
Mm,
up previous round. Pitched on, hit a pretty good pitch to about 8 feet, but sadly missed the putt. So I've gone bogey
mm,
bogey to start.
mm. I mean, look, the second's not an easy hole, so you're probably only looking at making par in that hole 50% of the time. So it's not that bad.
It's it's not a disaster,
Yeah. And it's like
but
certainly 2, 3, 4, I know we've got 3 and 4 coming up, but those par fours are fairly strong
Three and
as,
four in
as
particular,
a
I always find as difficult.
yeah, as a starting sort of set of holes.
Yeah.
If you get away and, even if you're, certainly for me, if I'm one over through those 4 holes, I'm pretty happy. Mind you, I never have been when I've played Dubbo, but
No, I
but
mean, in fairness, I mean, like I didn't get a shot on one, so it was a bogey for 1 point. I did get a shot on two, so it was a bogey for 2 points. So I'd only
yep.
essentially dropped a shot at this point.
Mm,
It was just one of those things that I thought, I don't want to be pushing my irons left again today. So that was in the back of my mind to learn
yeah,
from that and
right.
make sure that I get through the swing
Mm,
on future shots. So, but at the same time, like it was a decent chip. I hit what I thought was a good putt. It was actually just a misread. It just broke a little bit
mm,
more than I thought because I thought I was
mm.
pretty much straight up the four line, but as it turned out, I still had a little bit of left to right break on it. But tap in bogey, tap in bogey. It's not a terrible
It's
start
not
by
the
any stretch.
worst, yeah.
Yeah. So we move on to three. So as you know, we just mentioned three and four tough holes. I
Yep.
reckon, four used to be stroke one or two. I think stroke one for a while on the course. So it's a tough hole. Three's always a tough hole.
Yeah.
Three
I mean,
actually,
consecutively, they're close to the two toughest holes on the course. I mean, you've got 13 and 14 that are pretty tough as well,
and
but
then 17, 18, I think is a nasty little combo to finish on.
yeah, see, I still reckon I agree, but I don't think they're as hard as what 3 and 4 or 13 and 14 are.
Yeah, yeah. They're a number of good little combos of tough holes. Anyway, so
Yeah.
we step up to three and four. So three originally, my understanding was designed as a par five, and the
Mm.
tee box was back closer to the second green.
Yeah, right. Yep.
You can still see the remnants of it in the trees next to the second green. Now, the reason that that's important is because if you played it as a par five and you were hitting approaches into that third green, say with a lob wedge or a pitching wedge or a high lofted club, it's a small green with some really big shoulders on
Mm.
bunkers.
Yep.
Um, Whereas now that they've made it a long par four, you're hitting into the green sort of with a mid iron, and it's much, much harder
Yeah.
to hold that green as a result. So that's part of the reason I think, which makes it a bit tougher. It'd be as a par five, it wouldn't really have as much in the way of teeth, even with the tee box being another 50, 60
Mm.
meters back.
Mm.
So nevertheless, we step up onto three. I hit another good drive up the right side of the fairway. I had a 7 iron in, which I hit. I actually hit it well, and I thought it was going to be sort of left half of the green. It came up on the left front of the green, which was the right place to miss because going at the pin from the right side of the fairway, if I was short of it, but further right, I would have been in that big bunker with the nasty
Yep.
face on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a good miss, and I was probably 40 feet, 45 feet from the hole at that point, and hit a good putt, nearly dropped, just bent to the left right at the end. So it was a tap in par, which I was pretty happy with. Always making a par on three, you feel
Yeah.
like you've got half a shot on the field.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a 3-pointer as well, which was good. So it got me back to level twos. So we moved to the fourth hole. So the fourth hole is that long dogleg par four. Doglegs to the right. There's a massive big tree on the corner. You can't cut the corner at all. So I hit a good drive, but it hung a little bit left. Just sort of missed the fairway to the left. And on that corner, there's cypress pine and a couple of other little trees and a couple of big trees over there. I
Yep.
had a gap. I had a gap though, Andy Walker. You'll
Yeah,
be happy
right.
to know.
Of,
It
of course
was
you did.
it was not a big gap.
No, 90% air, they say.
No, there was no branches. It was a gap. It was probably, I don't know, through the gap. I could probably see. I probably had a gap of about 3 meters between the trees, which would have been about 10 or 15 meters in front of me.
Mm.
So it was ambitious, but it
Did
was a
did you
gap.
did you picture maybe one of the Tiger windows?
No,
Could have done that.
no,
I mean, that
no,
would have been good.
no. I had a good look at it and a good think, and I could come out sideways. easily and safely back onto the fairway.
Mm.
But through the gap, I was looking at the right hand bunker, and it was a distance that was, it was a front pin, and it was a distance that was suitable for my 4 hybrid. And that's a club that does have a tendency to cut a little bit. So the right bunker, if I cut that just a little bit, fade it back onto the pin, would have been about right. So that was what I'd pictured in my
Yeah.
mind.
Excellent.
So I hit my 4 hybrid.
Yep.
What do you think happened, Andy Walker?
Oh, look, to me, it doesn't sound like a percentage shot.
Right. If you were
Um,
caddying again, like Macquarie
yeah,
Cup, what would you have told me at
I
this
would
point?
not have advised to take that shot. I mean, the pitch back out into the fairway seems to me like it's the percentage play.
Oh, it's definitely the percentage play. There's no question about that.
And given
Um,
you've started off like your evens with Stableford,
mm.
you don't want to throw. And I'm assuming you get a shot on the
Oh,
fourth, yeah,
absolutely get a shot on this one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, again, the whole sort of situation for me would dictate that you pitch out sort of sideways back onto the fairway and go for your 2 points.
So I took the hybrid and I
Yep,
went for the gap.
yep,
Uh,
and
Smoked it straight through the gap.
excellent.
Started at the right bunker.
Mm,
Just faded back a little bit, right on line with the pin to the front edge.
nice,
Easy two
nice.
putt. Easy 2 putt par. Another 3 points. Thanks for coming, Andy Walker. Enough of this negativity about pitching out sideways. I have
It's not
none of it.
negativity. It's yeah, it's percentage play.
Whatever. So we move on to the fifth. The fifth, par 3, was playing about 135 meters. That is center pin again. So nothing too tricky with pin placements on this one. So hit a good 8-iron to about 10 feet, and just burnt the edge with a birdie putt. Andy Walker for another tap in par.
Nice.
So had high hopes for that one, but
So at
anyway,
this stage,
that's fine.
you're two over through 5, yeah.
2 over 3-5, correct.
Nice.
Yep. So back on the par train, which is good. So we move to 6. Now 6 is that par 4 out of bounds up the right, shortish par 4, a little bit of a dog leg though. I don't have the ammunition to try and take on the dog leg and get to the green.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a case of just try and drive straight up what is in effect a very, very narrow fairway.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Tough driving hole, big trees on either side. And absolutely smoked a drive straight up the middle, 257, which I was pretty happy with.
Nice.
Hit a sandwich to about 15 feet and another easy 2-putt par. Anyway, so playing some pretty stress-free par golf at the moment.
And regulation par golf.
A lot of regulation and a lot of what was good, with the exception of 4, where I put myself in a little bit of possible trouble, but I still had a shot, right? I was not out of position off the tee, and that just makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Such a difference. So, and I have been driving the ball well lately, as we have discussed. So it was good to see that was continuing. So, yeah, 2 over after 6, which was pretty good. So we move on to 7. Now 7's the par 5.
Par 5. Yep.
Straight, kind of second half of it goes uphill to the green. So again, hit a good drive up the centre, and I thought what was I? I was about 215 meters out from the green, and I thought I could maybe sneak a 5-wood onto the front edge if I get hold of it. So I pulled the 5-wood. Worst case scenario, you leave it just short of the green, pitch in a putt, and life's good. And I pulled the absolute everything out of it.
Yeah, right.
To the right trees that are just near the 8th tee.
Yeah, yeah.
It's rocketed. I know, but I've laced it, but just pulled straight pull, so it wasn't turning.
So did you actually hit any of the trees, or you just sort of got through?
I have hit this tree like so hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Straight in the middle. and could have gone anywhere
Yeah.
because it was going in at pace. And it's pretty much popped up in the air, come left, just into the rough on the edge of the fairway.
It's a bit lucky.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a result. So that enabled me to pull my pitching wedge, and I hit my pitching wedge to pin high to about 10 feet. Um, had a look at birdie, but it was a heavily braking putt. You know, that green's quite heavy back to front.
Yep.
So I was hitting across that slope. So I was pretty defensive in fairness. So I finished with a tap in par.
Yeah. So
So that was one
that's
of
where
those
you
ones.
needed a caddy that can read greens.
Yeah, I know. I was having that thought actually. When we're there, I'm like, oh, this is not too dissimilar to that putt in the Corey Cup. But yeah, it was one of those things where, if you go hard at that, then you could end up
Yeah.
15, 20 feet down the green.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it wasn't worth the risk. So rolled it up. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, then tap in par. And that's what it was. So anyway, that was
Easy.
fine. Two over after 7 was not a
Mm.
bad
Yeah.
start. So we get to the eighth. The eighth was playing about 167, par three. Again, pinned sort of on the front edge. Hit a really good 5-iron, just short of the front edge. Nearly made the putt from the fringe. Another tap in par.
So you're going all right. Like you're on the par train.
I'm playing good golf.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was having to prevent time travel.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Of course,
Um,
with 2 over with 10 holes to play, when you're needing to, have a reasonable score at least to maintain a single digit handicap, then yeah, it's going to be difficult not to time travel at that point in time.
there was a few reasons that made it hard to time travel. So there was exactly what you just explained. The delusions of grandeur were getting
Yep.
real.
Yep.
The other thing was that the last time I had played this course, I was 2 over after 8, and I came up 9.
And you had
Oh no,
like
actually,
your
I was 3 over. Sorry, I wasn't 2 over. I was 3 over after 8. I came up 9, and
your
um,
excavator job in the bunker.
yeah.
Mm.
So that was also floating around to a degree.
Yep.
Not really, but it was one of those
Mm.
things as well, which the challenge was, all right, they're all thoughts, good and bad.
Mm.
They could all happen. Either of those ends of the spectrum or anything in the middle could all happen, and it's all
Yep.
okay. So if it happens, it happens. But just because
Mm.
I thought it doesn't mean that it will, in fact, happen. So
Yeah, for sure. Mm.
let it go. Couple of deep breaths. I did actually on the 7th tee and again on the 9th tee get into a little bit of breath work to just
Nice. Nice.
reground, and
Mm.
get back, get the head back where the feet are.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Which is just super important. So we stood on the 9th. Now the 9th, another par 4, dog legs to the left. There's trees all up the left-hand side, and there's OB right. But to be
Mm.
honest, OB right, it's really only there for the right-hander who has a massive slice. It shouldn't be in play. So I stepped up onto the 9th. I hit another really good drive past the corner.
Nice.
Left me with about 115 to a back pin.
Yep.
So a nice pitching wedge number, slightly uphill. I caught it probably about a groove or two low on the face, like not bad, definitely not
Mm.
knife, not thin, but just slightly low on the face. It pitched, got up there, and the pitch mark was about 2 feet left of the pin.
Yep.
But it took a big bounce and it just went into the rough at the back of the green,
Mm.
which was a little bit of a shame. And it was in some pretty thick rough downhill to the green, and then the green all running away past the pin to the front edge. So it was a bit of a nervy one. So I putted that through the rough.
Okay.
I'm
You
ashamed to
didn't think
admit.
about taking like a hybrid or?
I did think about taking the hybrid. The problem with that is that I have done that a few times and not to great effect because it's just not something
Mm.
that I've spent time
Yeah.
practicing.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
So I thought I'll play the putter. The trouble is I just didn't get through the rough that well. It stopped on the edge of the green,
Mm.
and it was a 2-putt bogey. So nevertheless, I did get a shot on that hole. So it was a pretty good 9. Like I finished
Yeah.
the
I mean,
9
turn 3 over. I mean,
3 over.
that's, yeah. And
It was
six pars,
19.
3 bogeys. That's decent.
It was solid. So I turned 3 over with 19 points. So it was a good start. So life was good. Weather was
Yep.
beautiful. Company was good. Um, Score was good. Ball striking was going pretty well. So
Weather was good.
yeah, I mean,
Beautiful winter's day
how good's
in the
life at this
Midwest.
point? Yeah. So we move on to the second nine. We have previous episodes which we've titled, you know, the back nine or a game of two
Mm.
nines or something along
Yep.
those lines.
Yep. Yep.
So let's move on to the second nine, shall we?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Sounds ominous, but let's push on.
Push on to the second nine. So we move on to 10. 10's another par four, slight dog leg to the left. Really, the only bad shot on 10 is to go left. If you go right, unless you go a long way right, if you go right, you're okay with the line and
Mm.
the pin.
Mm.
So again, hit a really good drive straight up the middle, which was good. Hit a pitching wedge on, which pitched on the right side of the green, pretty much exactly where I was aiming it. And everything feeds to the left there. And that was a sort of a center pin again. So that was another, it was downhill putt, so a little bit defensive, couldn't really go at it, but I was about probably, I don't know, 15, 18 feet away regardless. So it was a solid two putt par. So that was a pretty easy way to start the second nine for what can be a hole that can get away from you a little bit. Like if you miss that green right, then trying to chip on, there's a bunker right, and that bunker shot you're lucky to hold the green with. And if you miss the bunker, it's even worse.
Well, I
So
mean, even I remember your last round, you were on the right hand side of the green there, and it's a tough putt from the right side of the
yeah,
green when the pin's sort of middle or left,
yeah,
and it's all downhill.
it's
And
all runs away
I
from you.
remember you three putted for a bogey during in your
I
last
did.
round, so
I
yeah,
did. So
it's easy to do.
this one I was a little bit closer to. That one I was probably about 25 feet for the first putt and
Mm.
left it to about 6 foot. And that was the problem because
Yep.
and then it was a
Yep.
6 foot breaking putt, which is
Mm.
always a 50-50 proposition. So look, this was good. It was solid. Get a shot on that. So it's another 3-pointer. So I was rolling along pretty nicely at this point. So we move into 11. 11 was another par three, playing about 155, 160. So with the pin kind of tucked behind the front left bunker. Now, both those bunkers on the front of this green, they've got very high lips. So there's
Yep.
big shoulders on them as well.
Mm. Mm.
So with your tee shot, you kind of need to fly to the center of the green pretty much. Otherwise, you'll hit the downslope of the shoulder and shoot
Yep.
off the back of the green.
Mm. Mm.
So with a frontish pin, it's always a difficult shot because it's difficult to get close at least. So I hit a 6-iron, sort of just to the right of the pin, pretty much at the center of the green. Finished about 20 feet, but I had quite a big breaking putt that what I didn't realize, I didn't probably read it with enough care. Kind of went uphill a bit at the end,
Yep.
downhill for a lot of it, but then because of the
Mm.
shoulder of that bunker, kind of went back uphill a little bit at the end.
Yep.
So I left it about, I missed by about 6 foot, so it broke a little bit more and it came up short. So unfortunately, that ended up being a 3-putt bogey, Walker, which was a shame.
Mm. Still not the end of the world. I mean, it's only a
Not the
bogey.
end of the world. Not the end of the world. It was okay. So we move on to 12. Now, 12 is the first of, you mentioned before 13 and 14. 12, I'd add 12 in. It's a bit of a boom or bust hole. It's par
Yeah,
five, but you got the
it's
water
tricky.
all the way up the left. And I kind of refer to these three holes as Poseidon's trident.
Right. I like
Just
it.
because I remember watching some of the PGA Tour events, and you've got you've got the bear trap, and
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
got these things. So I thought, why don't we name these three holes? I went with Poseidon's trident. I like that. 3 holes. Yeah,
Nice.
there's water. Anyway, so par five. So stepped up, hit another really good drive, about 250 up the center, which was good. Which left me with about 210 to the pin. So I took a 5-wood. And again, you've got to go over the corner of the second
Yep.
lake on this
Yep.
shot. So there is risk. Hit a pretty good 5-wood, but just missed the green on the left. There's not a huge amount of space on the left, in fairness, because
No,
that
there's not.
second lake cuts in, but I was okay. Just left of the green, and pitched on, I had to kind of really open up the face and hit a bit of a flop shot because it's a raised green there, and there wasn't a lot of space between the edge of the green and the pin. So actually hit quite a good shot to around about 6 feet, and really frustratingly finish with a tap in par.
Well, again, I
No,
mean,
no harm done.
yeah, 6 footer. Yeah, you want to make those, but at the end of the day, you're not going to make all of them. So,
Yeah.
you know,
What was getting a little bit wearing though is that I'd had, at this point, sort of two or three really good looks at birdie, and
mm,
nothing, just nothing had gone in.
yeah. But at the end of
Um,
the day, you're 4 over through 12 holes.
correct.
So
Which was
I
fine.
understand that, frustrating that, you know, you may not have got a birdie, but you're still playing good golf. I mean,
Yeah.
12 holes, 8 pars, 4 bogeys, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not
Frustrating,
bad.
but not frustrating enough to be, affecting in any way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So then we move on to 13. Now, 13 is a strong par four. It's not an easy hole. There's out of bounds all the way up the left, trees up the
Mm,
right. But again, got a really good drive away up the center of the fairway. Had a 6 iron into the green, which I probably pulled just a little bit, and it finished on the fringe on the back right edge. Now that green has got the right side where I was is elevated,
yep.
and it dips down to the center, and then it dips
Mm,
back up again to the
yep.
left hand side. So the flag was in sort of the low point in the gully that runs from from back to front on the green. So it was a putt that looked like it was going to start flat but go quite steeply downhill towards the pin,
Mm,
and break right to left. So it was the read. So I thought I really just need to get it over the crest of that bank. And as it comes downhill at the pin, it's just going to pick up speed and make its way all the way down. I hit what I thought was a good putt, got it just past the crest of the hill, and it started going down. It just did not pick up speed, and it stayed on the downhill.
mm,
And I was
mm.
about probably 6 or 7 feet short.
So one of those 6, 7 footers again.
Yeah, with the downhill right to
Mm,
left sliding
yep.
away. Unpleasant. So it was a tap in bogey.
Mm, mm.
Goes
So
down.
that's three 6 footers in a row that
Yeah.
sort of just sliding past the hole.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That was annoying. That
Mm.
was somewhat annoying.
But still, I mean, 5 over,
But
you
it's
like
okay.
no real damage done.
No stress either
Mm.
on any of the holes, which was key. So moving to 14. Now again, 14 water all the way up the right. A couple of my playing partners found the water before I teed off.
That's
So
always a good
it's a
mental
great it's a great visual.
framework to work
Um,
within.
Another one actually found the groundsman's shed off in the trees to the left, which I thought was an excellent performance.
Open
Um,
fairway then.
yeah, that's right. Open fairway, and Andy Walker, you'll be happy to know that I put it to good use. I hit a really good drive straight up the center.
Nice. So
Once
driving
again,
well, like again,
driving well.
another really good driving
Yeah,
round, it sounded like.
yeah. We'll cover that.
Mm.
But yes, hitting the drive well. Drive like, and it was one of those things where I felt like standing on the tee, going, which blade of grass do I want to aim at right now
Yeah. Yeah.
with the
That's a
driver?
good feeling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hit another really good pitching wedge to about 10 feet, pin high, just left of the pin. And happy to say I made a tap in par.
Excellent.
So
Another tap in.
yeah,
It's stress free. Like you
look,
can't be unhappy with stress free.
it is, and that is true. So we moved to 15. 15's a par five up the hill over two small lakes, playing about 165, slightly into the breeze as well. So not
Mm.
an easy
Mm.
shot. So hit a 5 iron, as fat and toey as you could possibly
Yeah,
want.
right. Mm.
It sneaked over the second lake, but it was still about 25 meters short of the green.
Yep.
So that was okay. He had another relatively simple pitch on, sort of straight up the green, uphill really as well to the pin, and I knifed another one, Andy Walker.
Mm.
And at this point, I should mention to the Pilgrims that there's out of bounds behind this
Mm.
green. It's a slightly elevated green, so I knifed it, and I knifed it hard, and it hit the top of the bank of the elevated green and popped up in the air and finished on the back edge. That
That's a bit lucky.
was lucky,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very lucky.
Yeah.
So nice, easy two-putt bogey, fighting bogey, we'll call it.
Mm,
Would have
mm.
been worse.
So through 15 holes then, yeah? You're
Mm,
6 over,
mm,
playing off 9.
mm-hmm.
So even, and you've got the easiest hole in the course coming up, obviously, that we all know is 16.
Just not, but it is. Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
definitely, I mean, you got to be thinking birdie on 16 with being the easiest hole in the golf course. So
yeah.
you should be wrapping this round up like pretty easily in a, well under your handicap.
I love the way you set that up. Let's go with that. So
Let's
yeah,
move
step
forward.
step
Yeah.
on the 16th tee, and you're right. 16 is the index is 18, so it's ranked. Use your words. It's ranked the easiest hole on the course, but I
Mm.
struggle to believe that a hole that is a genuine par five. It's got a fairway bunker. You're hitting your drive to a corner. There's a bit of a dog leg. There's a fairway bunker on the landing area. There's a lot of trees up the left. You then have a second shot. There's a sort of a fairway bunker just short right, which would leave you about a 40, 50 meter pitch out of sand onto the green. There's three bunkers around the green. It's a pretty heavily sloping green. There's a lot that can go wrong on this hole. I just really struggle to believe it's the easiest hole on the course when there's a 130-meter par three also to choose from. But anyway, that's the way it's rated.
Yep.
It
Sounds like there's excuses coming to me.
it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really make any difference because if it was rated 17 or 18, who cares? I'm still not getting the shot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got
Whatever.
to get up
But
there and play it. Let's just say that.
yeah.
And
But
you're
anyway,
only 6 over with 3 to play.
yeah. So anyway, there's that. So I step up, hit another excellent drive straight up the center to the corner. Um, Hit a 5 wood, which pulled it slightly. So I missed the green right, and I was right of the bunker, right of the second bunker, which was there was a back right pin.
Mm.
So I was short sighted behind the bunker. Um, had to flop it over the bunker to the flag, which I thought that's okay because I hit a good one on 12 doing
Yep.
exactly that.
Yep.
So I opened the club face up, and what I think actually happened on this one, I think it I think I kind of bounced it into the ball with the open club
Mm.
face rather
Mm.
than just nipping
Mm.
it because it was a little bit of an iffy lie, and therefore knifed another one.
Mm.
Not as badly, but it went through the green
Yep.
and off the other side of the green, which was a bit
Mm.
frustrating. Into some fairly heavy rough, so pitched on and two putted for a bogey on what was potentially a birdie opportunity. So anyway,
Still,
such as life. It's a bogey. It's a point,
again,
and
it's just a bogey.
we're
Like,
7 over,
yeah.
2 to play.
Yep.
So 17. 17's tough hole. 17's very strong par four. So it's yeah, it's a second
Yeah. It's a
shot
strong
hole.
hole. Mm.
Second shot hole. You've got to hit a good second, and you're usually being asked to hit a good second from about sort of 170 to 180 out. But nevertheless, hit another really good drive up the left side of the fairway, and that's the last time that I could use the driver because the last
Mm.
hole's par three.
Yep.
So the driver went back in the bag with a good pat on the head. Well done.
Yep.
Good day out.
Nice. Yep.
Got up there and I was about, what was I was about 100 and just over 170 out from the pin. And the pin was on the second tier, so it's 2 tier green down. Hit a good 5 iron, but didn't quite get on the green. It was just left. Pitched on, and I wanted to land the pitch on the top tier. It landed. It hit the bank of the tiers,
Yep.
so it kind of
Mm.
killed it.
Mm.
Which unfortunately meant that putt was a bit of a tricky putt. So it was a tap in bogey, which again, okay, it was 2 points. So I was sitting then at 34 points through
Yep.
17 holes. Get a shot on the last, so make bogey on the last 2 points, 36 points, 9
Yep.
over.
Yeah.
good day's
Yeah.
work.
It's your nemesis hole too, though. The last,
It's a
isn't it?
it's ugly. It's ugly. So anyway, and at this point it was getting a bit cold too because we were playing in the afternoon. Sun was getting a bit low. Hadn't been the
Yep.
fastest round known to man.
Mm.
So there's all those sorts of things going on. So long path three up the hill, hit the four hybrid. Nice high cutty hybrid. Missed left, and this
That's
hole.
not the side to miss either.
It's not the side. So on the left hand side, there's trees up the left, and then the
Mm.
trees stop, and then there's this nice lush grass just in front of the clubhouse,
Yep.
which is where the ball finished. And then you've got the bunkers, and then you've got the green
Yep.
running all the way away from you
Yes.
downhill.
Yep. Yep.
And it is one of the fastest greens on the course. So I'm chipping from the rough over bunkers to a green running away from me down the hill is the shot.
Yeah. It's not easy.
After just knifing one
Mm.
similar situation a hole and a half before.
Yep.
So anyway, I had to pre-accept all possible outcomes at this point, Andy Walker, which was definitely the goal. So I opened the face on the club and nipped a really nice flop shot up. It landed just over the bunker as close as it could on the edge of the green. And it did roll out to the far edge, but it stayed on the green. So
Yep.
I genuinely don't think I could have done anything else
Yeah,
other
right.
than hit the
Yep.
flag
Oh,
stick.
that's good.
Would have been the only way of stopping it. And very, very nearly made the putt, but finished with another tap in for a bogey and for 36 points and a 9 over par, 80 off the stick.
That's what? Well, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, you
Solid
know,
golf.
yeah, 36 points. I mean, we always, we talk about the fact that 36 points, you're not expected to play to 36 points on average. I mean, I think the average are meant to be about 33 points. So,
That's about right.
you've played three shots effectively better than what you would expect to average over a large sample size of rounds. So, and it sounds like you hit your drive well. There were some really good shots. There was you had some strings of pars that you put together. I mean, I know you didn't have a birdie, but I mean, nine pars, nine bogeys. Like, there's no doubles in there either, which has got to be a win.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So
Look,
so
in
I
all
I
honesty,
think there's a lot to take away from that.
there was a lot. I thought there was a lot to take away. It could easily have, like, that was an 80 that could have been a 75.
Mm.
There were two moments of fortune, one hitting the tree on 7 and the other hitting the upslope of the green on 15. But other than that, like, nothing dropped with the putter.
Yeah. Yeah. And those
Um,
things, I think, balance themselves out most of the time in a round of golf.
yeah. But the good thing was there was no stress. There was, like, I was rarely out of position. I was hitting the
Mm.
ball pretty well. Some improvements in short game would absolutely have made a difference. But I,
Yeah.
I do want to take you through the strokes gained result
Mm.
for that
I mean,
round.
your driver's got to be in the positive strokes gain, surely.
So against a scratch handicapper on the benchmark, driving was plus 1.72.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was
I'm
good.
not surprised by that.
It was good. Approach shots was minus 1.83.
Mm.
Short game says minus 1.55, but I feel like that is
It's a bit flattering, I
potentially
think.
flattering.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think realistically it's a bit flattering. I think some of the errors in short game are attributed to approaches, in fairness.
But
And
but
then,
some of the knife wedges, I think that, yeah, there's
they,
something
they,
going on
they
there that you
cost
need to
they cost
do
a
a little bit
fortune.
of work for. Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Putting was minus 3.9. I've noticed putting is streaky.
Yep.
I can have good days and I can have not so good days.
Yeah.
This wasn't a terrible day. I actually feel like that putting figure was almost a bit harsh.
Mm,
But
mm.
that was the
But
result
but
of.
that's just putting, and I mean we've talked about that before. When we talk about, say, Scotty Scheffler,
Mm,
and the really great ball strikers, is that your ball striking is your base,
mm,
and there's going to be times in putting where you know everything's going to drop, and you're going to have a really good strokes gained with putting, but then there's going to be like, this round where nothing drops and you're going to have a poor strokes gained. And I think that I'm coming to the perspective that you can't take one round, certainly in putting, you can't take one round in isolation. You need to actually have a look at the trend and where the trend is over a period of time. And yeah, I don't think that that's necessarily a good indication of where your putting's at this point in time.
I think that's probably fair. I mean, there was a number of 50% putts that didn't drop and they
Mm.
accumulate on the strokes gained because,
Yeah.
it starts to become quite binary with things either went in or they didn't.
Mm.
Whereas
Yeah.
other shots, if they're approach shots or whatnot, you might be losing zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.2 of a shot, but with putting, it's a half shot or more. So it can
Mm.
accumulate quite quickly and nothing
Yeah.
really dropped to offset that. So that was really the difference. I didn't feel like I'd putted badly at all. Um, I just didn't really make anything.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
might sound ridiculous, and you go, "Well, if you
Mm.
didn't make anything, you didn't putt well." But I was
But
rolling
the
the
thing is,
ball.
it's
I was
it's
rolling the ball on the line that I wanted to, and I had pretty good speed for the most part. So
yeah, and
I
and
wasn't too
and
upset.
from listening, you had a lot of tap ins,
A lot of tap
and
ins.
and if you've got a lot of tap ins, that means your distance control, your speed control is good.
Yeah,
And it doesn't really even mean that you're reading the putts that badly. It just means that this was a round where they didn't go in.
and that's pretty much what it felt like, to
Yeah.
be honest. Um, but what was good, right? Like I have driven the ball well lately, and it's been consistently good.
Mm.
Um, this round I hit 9 consecutive fairways
Yep.
from the sixth hole to the 17th. I only missed two throughout the whole round, and they were only just like they were just in the sort of one just in the rough, and the other one wasn't far off, but it had a couple of trees around it. But I wasn't. At no point did I have to sacrifice having a shot on my second because of the drive. So that was really, really really important and really
So it's
good.
so it's 13 fairways. So was it 9 out of 13? How many
No, no,
fairways
no.
did you actually hit?
All up. Hang on a minute. Let me tell you. Let me just get into the shot scope stats. It was 100% of fairways on the second nine, which is the second time I've done that in a row now,
Mm.
which is interesting in itself. So let me get into rounds. Champagne podcasting as we go into the stats live. So on the front nine, I missed two and I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, and on the back nine, I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
So I
yeah,
hit 11,
11 out of
11 out of
13.
13.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good golf.
Oh,
I mean, you
it's
you take
good off
that
the
every
tee.
time
Oh,
you went
absolutely.
out. Yeah. Well, what about
Absolutely.
greens in reg? How many greens in reg did you hit?
Greens in reg. I
Because that would
hit,
have to be over 10, surely.
no, I don't know that it is. I hit three on the front
Hmm.
and I hit 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back, 7.
Okay, 7. Hmm.
Yeah, that's where the issue is. Mind you, though, a number of them were on the fringe.
Yep.
So if you added the ones that were on the fringe, it would have been 10.
Yep. Yep.
So it's not too bad. 34 putts all up.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, where you need to be spending some time.
Driving.
Um, well, I mean, I think that's just maintenance. And then obviously, I think there's still work on your approach play and then short game. Putting, look, I think putting is just one of those streaky things that I think you need to work on the tour read framework. But I've
Mm.
never thought that there's that much wrong with your putting stroke as such, the mechanics of your stroke. I think once you get that framework around tour read and you get your green reading skills up, I think then your putting stats, your strokes gained will improve dramatically.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. Speaking of strokes gained stats, I do want to take you on a little bit of a journey, Andy Walker, because
Mm,
one of the themes, and this was interesting, I went back and I had a look at 2025 as a year in
mm.
total and then compared it to the full year of each of the preceding years,
Yep,
by year, because it's a larger sample size. Because as you know, this year I've been talking about the fact that I feel like I'm playing much better golf than I've played
yep,
before, but
yep.
I'm not necessarily getting the results
Mm.
that I want or that I feel that I should be getting. So if we go back as far as 2020,
Yeah, wow. Okay.
this is interesting. Okay,
Mm.
so this is full year strokes gained against scratch benchmark. In 2020, my strokes gain result was minus 15.76.
Wow. Okay.
That's when I was playing off mid teens.
Yep, yep.
In 2021, it dropped down to minus 13.29.
Hmm.
In 2022, it dropped down to minus 10.33. In 2023, which was the end of that year when we started Missing Links Golf Show,
Podcast. Yep, yep.
it dropped down to minus 8.96. Last year in 2024, it was minus 8.00, so 8 even, which I was playing off 8 for most of the year. So that would make sense. This year, 2025, it's currently sitting at minus 6.78. And the handicap's not matching that, interestingly.
No, no. Hmm. That's
But
yeah. That's
that was interesting to look at. And it was actually
yeah,
really reaffirming of the fact that I'm not, and I think what's driving that is I'm not having the bad rounds that I was having. I'm just not having the low rounds that I need.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah. So those big scores and those outliers that you have, which really push out your strokes gained, they're diminishing,
Mm.
which means that your average is just becoming your best isn't necessarily becoming better. It's just that your worst is coming sort of down, so that your average is improving, and that's where you're getting your gains. Yeah, is that what
And
you're?
that's right. But that to me says that there is a leap of good rounds that should be coming.
Yeah, yeah. You would think so.
Yeah. So that was actually very reassuring to see that. And to be honest with you, like the control that I had in that round, I've shot 9 over rounds plenty of times before, but generally speaking, it's because I've had a couple of birdies and a couple of doubles or a triple.
Mm, mm,
I don't
mm.
remember doing it like that where it was just rock solid golf pretty
Yep,
much the whole way around.
yep.
So that was a different experience, and that actually
Mm,
genuinely felt like single digit golf, not
yep.
like someone, a teen handicapper having a decent round into single
Mm,
digits. Like that actually felt like
yep,
proper golf.
yep, yep, yep.
So yeah, that was
Oh, that's good. I mean,
that was
and
good.
again, I think there's plenty to take out of that, plenty of positives to take out of that, which you can, use as a mental framework moving forward. And even though, yeah, handicap's not necessarily showing that end result, you know that you're going in the right direction, which, again, we've talked about many times through the last few episodes.
We have. You might recall at the beginning we set this up saying that I needed a decent round to avoid going into double digit
Yes,
handicap. So that in the wash up came out at a gross differential of 8.8,
nice,
which meant that the handicap stayed down at 9.7.
nice.
It's going to drop because at this point I have got 6 non-flagged rounds at the bottom of my 20.
Nice, nice. So you've got time and space to be able to, get a couple more flag rounds in,
Yeah, yeah,
to get that back down a little bit, closer to where you were a few months back.
correct.
Mm,
Absolutely. Or lower,
nice.
Andy
Mm,
Walker. Or lower
yeah. Well, like to
is
see a
is the
7 or
goal.
a 6 in front of that number.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So from here, look, the focus, I'm not going to be able to play a competitive round for a couple of weeks at this point, and that's fine. I've got a little bit of travel coming up over the next week.
Mm.
So not won't be touching the clubs for a week, but I think after that, really the focus is on a little bit of practice, a little bit of short game work, try and just tidy up a few of those things before getting back out and playing more competitive golf. And
Mm.
of
Mm.
course, the rebuild of the Missing Links Golf Show High Performance Centre Central West is
Yeah, it
imminent.
took the words out of my mouth. I was going to ask how that was going.
Yep. So almost all of the materials have arrived.
Ooh, exciting. Very
Yep.
exciting.
Just waiting on the corners. Actually, the
Mm.
last thing that being
Okay.
shipped from the US.
Mm.
Once
Mm.
they arrive, yeah, I'll be getting stuck into that. And then once that's done, then I can hit wedges to my heart's content in the high performance. And
Do you know if there are any tariffs on like those corners?
there would be if we were importing them into the US, but given that
Right.
we're
Okay.
buying them from the US and importing into Australia, it's totally fine because
Yeah.
amazingly the Australian government understands economics.
Yes. Yes.
Do with
Let's
that
not go.
do with
Let's not
that
go
what you
down
will, ladies and
that.
gentlemen.
Let's not go too far down that line.
Yes. Anyway, so no, there'll be no tariffs. But that will be good. So we'll keep you posted.
Mm. Excellent, excellent. And just a quick update from my end. I did take your recommendation,
Ooh,
had a doctor's appointment, and I had an MRI yesterday.
that's exciting.
Don't have the results yet. It takes a couple of days to get the results from a MRI, but I will be before we record our next episode. I'll be having a chat with the doctor, and hopefully there'll be some sort of not resolution, but at least understanding, I guess, of what's going on.
That is exciting.
Mm.
Very exciting. And that might then give us some answers and give us a path forward, which would be even
Yes,
better.
yes, yeah. So there'll be a little bit of an update next week, just to see where all that lands and what the path forward is.
Perfect. Nice work. Well, look forward to hearing all about it. And look forward to hearing a bit more about you playing golf at some point as well, which would be good. And getting beyond sort of
Yes.
the 10th or 11th hole.
Mm,
Be even
yes,
better.
that would be nice. I have still been doing a bit of putting. Putting doesn't affect me at all, and I have been doing the shadow swing. There's a couple of, and I was watching some of the open telecast footage on just how some of the best ball strikers get through the ball, just how they transition and that first move.
Mm,
Because as you know, I've struggled for well quite a number of years from going over the top as my first move, and I
mm.
think I've got some stuff that I think I may try and implement at least sort of get into the high performance center when I can and just test it out to see if that's something that might be a little bit of a move forward. So we'll see.
That that sounds quite exciting too.
Yeah, yeah. So still, even though I'm not necessarily playing and I can't hit balls as such, that doesn't mean that I'm sitting on my hands and doing nothing. There's some stuff still that's going on, which is good.
Well, if you were sitting on your hands, then maybe that would be the cause of the issue that you've got. So
Potentially, potentially.
hopefully not. Excellent. Well, Andy Walker, I think that's a wrap. Unless there's anything
Excellent.
else that you want to share with the Pilgrims this week. But other than that, we will be back. Usual
Next
time,
week.
usual place.
Yep. Sounds good.
Any final words of advice, Andy Walker?
Rock out, pilgrims.